It's Check Ling's big day out in Brisbane, where he's lived for most of his life.
That's my program exercise every week to try to get my cholesterol down. And I arrive along the Brisbane River.
A prominent member of Queensland's Chinese community, the 79-year-old came to Australia from Malaysia as a scholarship student when the White Australia policy was still in effect.
1962, I came as a Columbia Plan student. I did my engineering degree. I got married soon after to a fifth-generation Victorian of sort of Scottish English background.
Check has witnessed the ebb and flow of Australia's race relations from the 1990s while campaigning against Pauline Hanson to the 2020s era of COVID-19.
You know, when COVID first broke, and there were verbal abuses and attacks upon the Chinese, my immediate reaction is, oh no, here we go again. The poor Chinese, whipping boys. The goading of China about the origin of the COVID-19, in the middle of an unfolding pandemic, I think was most unfortunate. Why the bloody hell do we want to bite the hand that feeds us?
It's been a torrid year for Australia's relationship with China. Earlier this year, Chinese students were blocked from entering Australia along with all foreign nationals. Australia's beef and barley exports suffered because of growing trade tensions. Fingers were pointed at China over ongoing cyber attacks on Australian institutions. And both sides upgraded their travel warnings between the two countries.
It is just like the fight backs, like a revenge. They say, oh, you have done this to me, this is what I'm going to do back to you.
I think both sides need to be calmed down, because now it seems that everyone get angry, both sides get angry at each other.
Simon Ho and Linda Wu have been settled in Australia for nearly 20 years, with their children born in Adelaide. The pair came from mainland China in the early 2000s as international students and first met each other in a university library fighting over a study room.
The first time we met, we actually end up with an argument. Somehow at the end, we marry. It was a real funny story though.
Simon is now an Adelaide City Councillor and has been trying to allay community concerns over a rise in anti-Chinese sentiment.
People walk behind you or walk next to you and all of a sudden they ask you to go back to your motherland. Why are you guys still here? Why can't you go back to China? And they start to call this like the Chinese virus have damaged everything.
New data shared exclusively with 730 shows how pandemic racism has affected Asian Australians more broadly. A preliminary report into nearly 400 incidents shows more than 65% of victims were women. Half of all victims were ethnically Chinese. The majority of incidents happened in the street or supermarket, and most were racial slurs or name-calling.
The stress and the fear associated with COVID have really let the genie out of the bottle.
This is my room. This is my study.
In COVID hotspot Melbourne, Jinghua Qian is in lockdown.
A photo of the milk bar where I lived as a teenager, which my family ran.
The 33-year-old millennial was born in Shanghai and came to Australia as a child after the Tiananmen Square massacre.
I did all my schooling in Melbourne, in different suburbs that we lived in, kind of all over the place. A few years ago, I moved back to China for just under 3 years, working as a journalist.
As a writer, Jinghua has been vocal about both Australia and China on Twitter and is often caught in between.
I didn't want to post about COVID at all because I would see that people would be like, well, you brought it here. early on in January and February, all that stuff about how Chinese people eat bats and wet markets are disgusting and it's, the way we eat that's the problem.
But for Jinghua, being critical of China can be risky.
It really is scary because, your family members could be detained or harassed or punished in all sorts of ways for what you do.
"20-year-old Elma Lee from Guangzhou is part of the next generation. She's been an international student in Australia since high school, and her next move depends on how the pandemic plays out.
I am in my second year of university. I will definitely finish my bachelor degree here. But after that, depends on which country or which firm gives me a job opportunity offer. There I can decide which country I want to go. What we hope is this political issue never impact on our daily life.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.